It's week 3, Fantasy Footballers Anonymous League. I'm Trey Seitz.
And I'm Rob Mattern. Don't pay any attention to Trey if he's a little cranky this week. He's a little pissed off about Adrian Peterson. Alright. Okay, week 2 recap. First game we're going to talk about was my game, Steelers Wheel versus Jake and Fish and Chips. I pulled out the big win with a 92 over 59. My top scorer, Gio Bernard with 22. Fish and Chips, LaShawn McCoy with 15.
All right, and Lucci's winners and Master Disaster. Master Disaster had control of this game the entire time. No worries whatsoever. Finishing with a massive 83 points to 81 little points. His top scorer, Aaron Rodgers, 27. My top scorer, Dan Bailey. That's my backup kicker with 19 points.
Hey, take him where you can get him. You're just lucky he sat Brandon Marshall. Next one is Flea Flickers and Supermom, the Battle of the Broads. Supermom didn't show up this week after posting a big score last week. Posted a new league's low score with a 58. Felicia with an 88. Felicia's top scorer was Jordy Nelson with 26. And Supermom had Russell Wilson at 17.
And finishing off with Victor's Wildcats and Three Sharks in the Water. 107 to 104 was a close game. Victor Wildcat, lead scorer Darren Sproles. And Three Sharks in the Water, Jimmy Graham. 23 Jimmy Graham, 23 Darren Sproles.
Yeah, that's one of those situations. I was watching that game. I was like, both these guys got to be pissed off right now that they outscored everybody else in the league, but they were playing each other this week.
And now to the mentionables. This week we're going to talk about individuals that we find interesting in day-to-day lives, because this is the days of our lives. Ray Rice is our first interesting topic to talk about. He is officially done as of right now for the rest of the season and no longer a Baltimore Raven. But he is appealing the decision and trying to get some money back from the Ravens and possibly be reinstated to the NFL eventually this season. Who he would go to, I have no idea. But for now, John released him and he is a free agent. Go out and pick him up. He's available.
Yeah, I was talking to you about that the other day, and you're saying, even if he does get back into the league through the appeal process, who would pick him up? And the only team I could think of was the Raiders. But it's interesting. It's one of those things I feel though he should just say, hey, you know what? I'm going to let this play out on its own. I don't know if I necessarily agree with him trying to appeal that decision. While I understand legally he's being punished twice for the same crime, it still just doesn't quite seem right. Next one, Adrian Peterson. It had to come up at some point. First round draft pick for Master Disaster. Was deactivated by the Vikings last week, then reinstated this past week, and then after the Minnesota Vikings started losing sponsors and pressure from local officials, they decided to deactivate him again, and now have created something called the commissioner executive must be talked to before he comes back into the league list or something like that, same one that Greg Hardy's on. Where to go with Adrian Peterson at this point? From what I heard on NFL Network this evening, it might be until November of next year, 2015, until his trial's completed and they have any answers.
Well, I'm interested to see where this goes from here. One route that I do foresee is possible Dallas pickup. Adrian Peterson's got tons of money. The Vikings already said they're going to give him his $12 million that he's due this year, And guess who has more money than that? Jerry Jones. I don't know if any of you guys had heard the conversation that took place between him and Adrian Peterson. He tried to blow it off that it wasn't anything big, but this could all be leading to Adrian Peterson replacing DeMarco Murray for a good starter back in Dallas. I'm not dropping him until I know what's going on.
I think you're a little crazy for that, but hey, you never know.
All right, now with the new drug policy, we're going to be talking about Josh Gordon, who was picked up and recently released by Three Sharks in the Water. He will now be returning in 10 games into the season. So it's November 26th, I believe, will be November 23rd, correction. It will be his first game back. So when's everyone going to jump on him? I don't know. Will he come back in week 10? I don't know. Is it worth it? Depends on if their quarterback situation is figured out. But then again, last year, they didn't have a quarterback situation figured out, and he still did well.
Yeah, he really helped me at the end of last year. He's one of those wide receivers. He's fast. He's a good route runner. He gets open, and it's hard to pass him up if you have the opportunity to. Like you said, I think he's going to be back week 12 because of the bye that they'll have. It'll be a 10-game suspension, so it'd be through week 11 that he would be suspended and come back week 12. So with our season going through week 16, it might be worth it to somebody at some point. Next one is Wes Welker. We're talking about the new drug policy, and Wes Welker's 4-game suspension was reduced, and he will be back this week. And as we were talking earlier, I know you have a lot of Denver Broncos in this league and also in your other league. How is that going to affect Peyton Manning? How is it going to affect Julius Thomas? Because he's been getting some extra work, I think, because Wes Welker hasn't been there over the middle. Emmanuel Sanders maybe was getting some more looks for the same reason. So, Wes Welker's an interesting one. Luckily for your wife, who's had a lot of injuries here, he's going to help her out, I think, a little bit.
Well, I think, I don't think his return will be long-lived. I think he's about on the tail end of his career. But it will assist in playing Seattle this week. The more weapons, the better off they'll do. Like you said, I'm playing a lot of people. I'm benching Monty Ball in my other league. But Wes Welker, he's coming back. That's about it. I don't think he's going to take away from many other targets. Last year in the Super Bowl, Demaryius Thomas had 15 catches. A lot of people don't know that. And he had 118 yards and a touchdown. So it didn't really affect him last year. But it's going to be a tough game. We'll see who trained more in the offseason, who was ready more for this game. And we'll see where it's at. But welcome back, Wes Welker, as short-lived as it'll be. All right, Jamal Charles is the next subject to be discussed here. He is injured right now with his high ankle sprain. Andy Reid's trying to play it off that it's not a big deal, but I want someone else to tell me who in the NFL as a running back had a high ankle sprain that didn't suffer either the rest of the season or played terribly the rest of the season. There isn't one. They're not that good. It's not a good injury to have. We'll see if he comes back or if they play it safe and try and save him. He also went out in 2011, I believe, with an ankle injury that took him out for the whole season.
Actually, I think that was the year I think that he tore his ACL, or was that 2012? I'm not sure. But, after posting a 2-point score in fantasy in week 1, coming back the next week and not even getting to put up any points before he got hurt. And now, like you said, is he going to be... They have him listed as questionable right now for this week, but, like you said, it's probably a good chance he's going to be out at least 1 to 2 weeks and maybe 3 or 4. It's another rough one for your first-round draft pick. All right, next one we're going to talk about is Roddy White, Atlanta Falcons wide receiver, who's got some hamstring issues going on. I'm personally okay with this one because I've got Julio Jones, and I think that Roddy White, his productivity going down is only going to help Julio Jones. Maybe Harry Douglas is somebody to start looking at picking up on the waiver wire, depending on how Roddy White's issues progress here. But he's a veteran. He's been in the league for a while, so I think he's going to learn how to work around it, but I don't think he's going to have quite the effectiveness that he did.
This injury has plagued Roddy White for the last 2 seasons. If you try and go out and get Harry Douglas, you can. It sounds like a smart move. But Roddy White has played through this injury for seasons on end. And it has hurt him and has hurt other people because every once in a while he'll have a great game. So if you have Roddy White, I forget who does have him.
It's 3 Sharks.
3 Sharks has him. Play him as you will. It's going to be a risky play, but we'll see where it goes from here. And RG3 is our topic to discuss at the end here. He is not owned in any of the teams in our league, but he did so well and was projected to do so well since he's been in the league. We think that we do need to discuss this. He has a left ankle dislocation, and he is expecting to avoid surgery. Is this a smart move? I don't really know. Is this the route that the coaches were hoping would happen? I don't know. Their play style that the coaches are known to use are not RG3's strong points. So we'll see what happens from here.
Yeah, like you said, he's not owned by anyone in our league, but part of the reason that we thought it was interesting to talk about him was that other Redskins are, and with a quarterback and being such an important part of an offense, how does that affect Alfred Morris? How does it affect Pierre Garçon and Deshaun Jackson? So moving forward, I almost think that Kirk Cousins is a better suit, as you said, for this offense. I think he looks more comfortable in the pocket. He looks more comfortable throwing the ball in this system, and looks like he knows what's going on. So, and maybe that's, sometimes when you have that backup quarterback come in, the defense isn't prepared and hasn't been game planning for that quarterback, so it makes him look very good. And they were playing Jacksonville too, so it's tough to say what made them or helped them score 41 points, even with Deshaun Jackson out for a lot of the game too. But I think it'll be interesting to see, like I said, is Alfred Morris going to still be the stud running back? Or are they going to start throwing the ball more, and Pierre Garçon's numbers going to go up and Deshaun Jackson's numbers go up? I think it's yet to be seen. This week's Fantasy Football Punch to the Junk, we had a few honorable mentions between Jamal Charles. He was a first-round draft pick going down with a high ankle sprain. Adrian Peterson obviously was one. I thought Trey was going to take the cake with that one until Kristen and the Supermom team, after scoring 134 points in week 1, came back and scored a league-low 58 points in week 2. She's probably last week walking on air and telling all of her friends, just like Jake was, that, I scored the best score in my league this week, and I'm going to run away with it, and then came back with a 58.
Yeah, the 58 was a tough blow, seeing as she has 4 players now that are injured, being Dez Bryant with a shoulder injury, left in a series of the first quarter, came back with his shoulder all padded up, and then came back to a good game. Marshawn Lynch has back spasms right now. He had him last year as well and had a career high 1,590 yards last year. So whether that'll affect him, who knows, but it may affect his touches from this point on. Noshan Moreno, possibly out 4 to 8 weeks with an elbow injury. If you didn't see that play, look it up on YouTube. It hurts. And Vernon Davis with bruised ankle/knee. He was on crutches at the end of the game. It's never a good sight to see your fantasy player on crutches on the sideline. They're saying that he's possible to play against Arizona in week 3, but it's going to be iffy.
Hey, at least she gets Wes Welker back this week.
Yay, Wes Welker. And here's the standings as of right now, going into week 3 from week 2. I am undefeated, and so is Felicia.
Looking forward to week 3. First game we're going to talk about is Steelers Wheel and Lucci's winners. At this point, I am projected to win this one 120 to 100. You're going down, John.
And I am playing the league loser right now. And we're not talking about John. We're talking about stats right now. I am playing fish and chips right now. I am projected at 102, and he's projected at 116. I'm not going to lie. I'm worried. 4 of my players, 2 of which going against Carolina, 2 of which are going against Seattle at home. And I have one of those 2 defenses as well, and going to play them.
Yeah, I think this might be your first loss and Jake's first win this week. We're all pulling for you, Jake. Don't worry. Next one is Supermom versus Victor's Wildcats. Both teams are 1-1. This is projected to be a close one, with Victor's Wildcats at 107 and Supermom at 106. So this will be one to keep your eye on Sunday afternoon.
And here is a close matchup between 3 Sharks and Flea Flickers at 117 to 132. Not really close. But Felicia is the projected winner, and she's 2-0. And Ethan is the league champion, what is that, 3 years ago now? Something like that. Old news. We digress.
Well, that 132 does include Jamal Charles in her lineup, who I really don't see playing this week too much.
I don't either. That's why I put his backup as my flex. Bold predictions for week 2 were very disappointing. Right now I'm 0-1, Rob is 0-1, and the league is 0-1. So, I am going to get 1-1 with Kirk Cousins. I think he is going to lead the Redskins into a divisional victory over the Eagles, and he's going to get 3 or more touchdowns in that game.
I don't think that one's going to happen, but hey, that's why it's a bold prediction, right? I'm going to go with my buddy Ben Roethlisberger this week. I'm going to say he's going to score 20 fantasy points, and that will include at least 2 touchdowns, either passing or maybe he'll run one in also. Who knows? And then we have Kristen, who's going to do the league bold prediction this week.
Supermom here with my bold prediction of the week. I predict that the Raiders will beat the New England Patriots by 1 touchdown. Good luck this week, everybody.
Okay, Trey pointed out to me that I said Ben Roethlisberger is going to score 20 points, 20 fantasy points this week. I meant he's going to score at least 20 fantasy points. So if he scores 21, 22, I still win.
Loser's advice for week 3. If you have players that are playing against Arizona Cardinals or the Carolina Panthers or the Seattle Seahawks, start them. Very, very smart move. They're going to have to lose sometime.
Isn't that what you're doing this week? Thank you for watching our video this week. Tune in next week when we talk about some more cool stuff. I'm Rob Mattern.
And I'm Trey Seitz. Don't forget to let us know if you want us to talk about anything.
Or if you want to do the bold predictions. My muscles are too ripply.
Alright, so let's redo that, because I was talking, and you can say that again.
We're going to review the games. I'm going to start that over again. That was stupid.
Oh, so
Oh, you're just cooler than me, Trey.
I'm pretty fucking awesome, I'm not gonna lie. Comment about whatever his injury is or whatever. Alright, so
Hey, move a little bit to your left. Or
Krista's right, okay? I'm trying to do the don't look at my dirty house thing.
Well, you're showing all of your house and like this much of your head.
Have Krista think of something. She's good at thinking of stupid stuff.
Yeah.
It made it all the way into the house, past the...
Hello.
No, it's like duck lips and stuff.
I thought that was your thinking face.
No, that's my reading face.
Oh. Are you in a gated community?
Yeah, it's called a military base.
Oh, that's right.
It's okay.
That's a gated. If I were you, I'd tell people you live in a gated community.
You're so stupid. I unfriend you.
That's not how this works. That's not how any of this works.
I'm just gonna do the video from down here now.
Okay.
Kristen threw out my Joe Dirt wig. Ready? Did you get it?
Cut there. Yeah, how'd that Jake Locker thing work out for you last week?
Pretty good. Alright, I got the schedule if you want to know the schedule.
Oh, I can do it this way too.
Uh-oh, there's a little one awake.
Oh, that's Brooke.
Oh, she took off her football jersey?
Since then. I'm kind of half excited and half scared.
Bold predictions. That is the segment that we are going into.
Alright.
Well, did you see that the Seattle lost their record?
At halftime.
Either way,
Browns
they're
came
doing
back.
shockingly well.
Alright, that's why I was asking if it was bold enough.
Look, there she is again. I can see her right there.
What are you doing?
I'm pointing to your daughter. There she is.
No, I was talking to her.
Oh.
Video.
She's just trying to get in the video.
Yeah, I know.
Say
I got
hi.
kids. How old is she again?
9.
My son's gonna be 9 this year.
Dad, I'm 10.
You're not 10.
Yes, I am.
You can't just be 10 because you want to be 10.
I am.
You have to wait until your birthday.
No, I'm 10.
She's 9.
Is he holding a baton?
No, this is a Can you guess what it is?
Back scratcher?
No. You know what that is?
Nope.
Come on, Rob. You should know what this is.
It's a boogie picker.
Wrong.
No,
Although
that's for
you know
mini
what?
blinds. The end.
Agreed. Yeah, agreed.